I've never met Mtagati. I've never even spoken to Mtagati. Even my phones, you can check them. I've never actually communicated with the person. I can't point him out. So I don't know Mtagati. I'm putting it here now. I don't know. I've never spoken to Mtagati.
So who did you want to meet with when you said, I want to meet Mtagati? Who were you going to meet with?
My explanation earlier was to say that I was under the impression that it is one and the same person.
General, no, well, you know my position. I don't accept that you're being truthful with us about this. I don't.
General, I will say this before you answer. Logic and common sense tells me that if you were mistaken, Sergeant Nkosi would correct you. But he goes along with your suggestion. He says, okay, should I set up the appointment? You say Friday. He says sharp. If you and him, or one of you thought you're talking about Bra Steve, he would have said to you, my general, that's not the same person. My general, why do you want to meet Mtagati? Because you and I have not had a discussion about you meeting Mtagati. The fact that he goes along with your suggestion suggests that he knows that you want to meet Mtagati and you want to meet him urgently. He's even willing to set up an urgent appointment to which you agree, and the conversation ends at it will be done. And that's basic common sense. Even if you were not there and you don't know, from a neutral, that's basic common sense and logic.
I really don't agree with that perspective, Commissioner, because the fact that I said, okay, I also want to meet them, it automatically goes without saying that it means that I know who he was with, who he was going to meet. In my case, I say, I want, because coming from the impression that I'm talking about one and the same person, that is when I said I also want to meet them urgently, because me, where I was just thinking work, in terms of that project that I spoke about. So that's what I was referring to.
If that's your answer, let's leave it there.
Yeah.
Thank you, Advocate.
Maybe let me try. How did you think Sergeant Nkosi would know who you're talking about? Because clearly he has his own idea. You have your own idea of who Mtagati is. You also have your own idea of who the others are, because you want to meet them in the plural. So you have your own idea. If you were thinking it's Mr. Mtsumi and the others that you're not telling us who you thought it was, how did you think Sergeant Nkosi would know who you are talking about when you say, I also want to meet them urgently? Because he's told you who he's meeting about that issue. Again, now you know you've been told that you're actually wrong. So I think it's a fair discussion to have with you. You've now been told you're wrong about who you say to the commission you thought Mtagati was. So I'm asking you, how did you think Sergeant Nkosi would know who you have in mind? Somehow he knew, he came to know, because there he's arranging a meeting for Friday, and you're all agreed about it. But my question is more directed at you. How did you figure that he would know who you are speaking about?
Having responded to this question, Commissioner, I said, because of the fact that I was under the impression or I assumed that we're talking about one and the same person, he never got to ask me, who do you want to meet, or why do you know who they are? We never got to that part. I just had arranged a meeting and I said when and all that, and then from there I was already in a flight. I was sitting inside, maybe. So it's not a discussion where we're now toing and froing.
So you say he knew who you wanted to see. Is that your evidence?
May I have the question repeated?
So you're saying Sergeant Ngosi knew who you wanted to meet. From your response, he knew who it was you were talking about.
I take it that he knew because he never asked me questions.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, General.
Can I put it to you in a different way? You say you don't know who Mtagati is. That's where we started with this. You didn't know. You make some assumptions, but you didn't know this name. Now, and you didn't know the Mama issue, right? But if it was someone, Mtagati, you didn't know, and Sergeant Nkosi is sending you this message, right? He's saying to you, I have a meeting with Mtagati, okay? If it was someone you didn't know about an issue you know nothing about, why would Sergeant Nkosi send you this message? He wouldn't send you this message because it's got nothing to do with you. You don't even know what the Mama issue is, you don't know who Mtagati is. So I'm putting it to you in a different way to say it doesn't make sense that Sergeant Nkosi would send you a message about things you know nothing about.
What won't make sense is when you look at this message in isolation and not taking into account maybe various other communications and during the day or throughout the day, whether it be telephonical or a message. So if at some point we did speak with Nkosi and then later he says to me, I'm going to meet so and so and so and so, and then I respond, I also want to. So there could be a background or something that might have been discussed much earlier. So unfortunately for me, I don't know, I can't remember that long back.
Okay, so but if there was a background, then you would have known who Mtagati is and what the Mama issue is, if there was a background. You were saying, as you sit here, that you didn't know.
No, the Mama issue could be Nkosi's issue.
Do you know what it is, or are you just not wanting to talk about it?
No, I don't know. I think Nkosi is the one who can clarify.
Okay.
Well, General, before you move, you say that if you look at it out of context, it doesn't make sense, but can we then look at it in the context of page 337? Because that's what we know, 337. That's that page. So you have a communication with Sergeant Nkosi on the 19th of April, and the next communication on this page is on the 21st of April at 12:35.
Which is file number?
The one that we had, file 7. It's the one that was in front.
File 7, page 337.
Yeah, that's where the text about from Sergeant Nkosi about Mtagati and others and the Mama issue. That's where it is. So if you look at chat 3 is on the 19th of April, and I think we've been told it's a call or something. And then chat 4 is a different date. It's the 21st of April. So you spoke on the 19th. The next time you spoke is on the 21st. And there's that picture there that is sent at 12:35. And then the next thing at 12:37, so that's 1.5 minutes later, on the same day, he then sends you that chat that we are discussing now, the Mtagati and others chat. And then you respond in chat 6 at 12:49 to say you're sitting in the plane. So just on the context of this page, and I want you to underline the context of the page because you said context. In the context of this page, there's no other communication. The last was on the 19th, and the next time you spoke is the 21st, according to this page. So you didn't have a conversation with him earlier in the day, we know from this. That would explain that message there. So just in context of this page, is he's reporting to you a meeting. We don't have anything before that. He reports to you a meeting, and then your response, there's nothing intervening. Your very next response is, I also want to meet them urgently. So there is no context for he knew and understood who you were speaking about except Mtagati, others, and the Mama issue. There's no other story on this page on the 21st. That's what I'm saying to you. And it's important, the sequence of conversations that is within minutes of each other after you last spoke on the 19th. So what I'm suggesting to you is the only context, there's no other context other than he reports to you for the first time on the 21st about this meeting, and then your answer is, I also want to meet them. You must have been talking about the same people that he's talking about in his chat.
When I look at the communication, the chat on the 19th of April 2024, 11,
Yes.
which is chat number 3,
Yes,
it's just 2 days ago.
yes,
There's a difference of 2 days.
yes.
Now, if maybe whatever that we might have discussed at that time, and then he now comes back to me on this time
Yes.
and say, I am going to meet Mtagati, and then I have a meeting with Mtagati and others in regard to Mama issue.
Yes.
Now, Mama issue, I don't know whether it could be the issue of whose Mama, whether it could be the wife of somebody or whose Mama, I don't know. But on my side, I then also said I also want to meet them, hoping that, and urgently, hoping that, or thinking or assuming that it is the same person, Mtagati Steve, hoping that it is the same person. So that's what I requested.
Right. Thank you. Thank you, General.
General, what was so urgent about the meeting that you wanted to have?
What was urgent, it's the same thing that the issue that I discussed, because I know I was going to work, or I was working on a report that I was in dealing with that project that we were dealing with.
You were working on a report.
Yeah, we're working on this issue of the extortions.
How long did you go to Brazil for?
I'm not sure whether it was 3 days or 4 days or a week, but
Okay.
it wasn't a night or two.
The 21st of April was a Sunday. So when you are on the plane, and you want the meeting for Friday, so it would have been one of the first things you wanted to do upon your return.
Right, yes.
Okay. And that you wanted to do, you say, has to do with Mutsumi, Mr. Mutsumi.
With the meeting that I
Yes,
asked
that
with
was
him,
urgent.
Yes.
That needed to happen urgently.
Yes.
Okay. Can we go to the same file? If you go to page 343, okay, this is now in June 2024. It's still conversations between you and Sergeant Nkosi. But it's now in June, and he sends you a message, you'll see in chat number 2, where he asks you time for meeting, and you say 6 to 7, I have a meeting at 7:30. He says, let me forward to them, and then he says to you 6 o'clock, it's confirmed. Okay? Now, just before we go further, he says, let me forward to them at 3:27:08. If you go to file 605, file 8. At page 605.
I've got it.
This is the chat between Sergeant Nkosi and Steve Mutsumi. So you'll see in chat number 9, at 3:42, there's a message from Sergeant Nkosi to Steve Mutsumi saying, forwarding your message. 6 to 7, I have a meeting at 7:30. Do you see that?
Yes.
So he forwards that to Steve Mutsumi and they have a phone call. Okay, and then you have to go back now to the previous page, 343 in file 1. He gets back to you in chat number 5 to say, 6 o'clock, it's confirmed. So he is arranging the meeting between you and Mr. Mutsumi.
Yes.
Okay. Let's just continue with this before I ask you questions about it, just so we have the complete picture.
Can I raise just quickly something that I want to let the commissioners also look into? Whilst I understand maybe the line of approach or the questioning, I'm in between. I look at the date and the month. It's not like it was a streamlined type of communication on a daily basis every day, because it will be one message once in a month. Another one will see that it is in April, another one it is in May, another one maybe is in June, because when you look at the month, they are scattered. I'm just trying to say, let's bear that in mind, that whilst you read this message and that message where you set up appointment on different timelines, different days altogether. So I'm just trying to put it in such a way that it shouldn't be that one was not working, just focusing on arranging meetings with Nkosi, with Mr. Mutsumi. I was just putting that.
No, thanks. Jen, that's not what I'm suggesting at all. So that's not my line of questioning. I'm not making any suggestion about whether you were working or what your preoccupation was. I'm not, that's not the reason why I'm going to these chats. And in these chats, the timeline I'm putting to you is between, it's showing Nkosi as the middleman, arranging the meeting between you and Mr. Mutsumi. And this is the context. I jump between the two because the chats are in one file, but it's all at the same time. That's why I showed you the time. The last message with you, I think the message to, Mr. Mutsumi was around 15:48 or 15:47, and then 15:49 he comes to you and he says it's confirmed. Okay?
And your point about different chats on different dates does not apply to what Ms. Hassim is taking you through now. All of these are on the 5th of June 2024. So the chats between you and Sergeant Nkosi are on the 5th of June 2024. And the chats between Sergeant Nkosi and Mr. Mutsumi are also on the 5th of June 2024. And what Ms. Hassim drew your attention to is the fact that under chat number 9, Sergeant Nkosi is forwarding your message to Mr. Mutsumi. Your message being the one where you said 6 to 7, ? I have a meeting at 7:30. That's your message to Sergeant Kosi. Sergeant Kosi is forwarding it to Mr. Mutsumi. All of that is on the 5th of June, 2024. So you see that your point about different dates and so on does not apply to what Ms. Hasim is dealing with now.
I respect what the chair is saying.
Yes.
But just to refer the chair for an example, let's say to page 605 in file 8 of 10. And you may want to look at the different charts of course dating from, let's say 590, you'll see is March, and then we'll find in April, we'll find in May. Now we are in June. I was just trying to rest that part or bring it home. That says, I understand, Chair, I heard what the Chair said.
Yes.
I was just saying that most of the communications will be, if ever, it will be once in a month, maybe, if it happens. Not that it was like constantly, they are scattered, but now as it is being presented.
Yeah, I hear that, but I'm not sure of its relevance in the context of the point being made now. Perhaps let's just proceed, General. Yeah. Yes, Ms. Hasim.
Thanks, Chair. So let's just keep going down. Now we were 6 o'clock, it's confirmed. Right, that's still at page 343. The next message from you on the same page is at chat number 8 at 1641, where you say, still with the National Commissioner, let's see how it goes. Okay. Then the next message is, and just to be clear, I'm going to put all of the messages to you so you see the whole picture before I ask you questions. So I'm not trying to bombard you. I'm just trying to give you one coherent picture. Okay? So he says to you, Sergeant Nkosi, at 1642, should I let them know? You respond at 1724, yes, but let us see. Okay? And then that's at 1724. I have to take you then to that page we were at, 606 again. That's the chat now with Mr. Mutsumi. Okay. And again, he forwards your messages to Mr. Mutsumi. You'll see that in chats number 4, 5, and 6. Should I let them know? Yes, but let us see. Sentumule is still presenting. And then there's a phone call between him and that's Sergeant Nkosi and Mr. Mutsumi. Okay? And then we go back to your timeline on page 344 at 1827. Page 344, chat number 4.
Chat number?
4. And then at 1657, there's a phone call that goes out from you to Sergeant Nkosi. At 1858, you say still here, I think you mean, with General Sentumule and the National Commissioner. And at 1937, Sergeant Nkosi sends you a message saying, are you winning? You respond at 1939, we just finished now, are they still there? Sergeant Nkosi responds, yes. And then he asks you at 1945, how far? And you respond, as you go down the chats, you see this, right? How far? You respond, give me 30 minutes, on my way. Okay, so that's the component, the full component of the chats on this. So this is a meeting, obviously, that's being set up by Sergeant Nkosi between you and Mr. Mutsumi, right?
Yes.
But in this chat, you see that he refers to, and you say, are they still there? You refer to they and them. Who are the other people that you were meeting at this point?
If
Or-
I
or
remember,
planning to meet.
if I remember very well, the meeting that I asked to discuss the project that I wanted to discuss is, I expected him to have put a team to, the people that I'm going to actually be able to speak to that can guide me and assist me. That's what I know. And that's exactly the meeting that was planned.
This is the meeting that was planned. Okay, so this was the urgent meeting you were wanting.
I take it so.
Okay. It's quite some time since April to now in June having this meeting.
Yes.
So had the urgency worn away, or how do you explain the urgency now?
Is because when I came back, I don't think it happened. It never happened because the meeting never happened, never took place, and even here, as you could see, there was a little bit of impatience. Are you winning? How far? And because the time was supposed to be much earlier, and others had their own other arrangements. So, as I was saying, I'm on my way. Then, and it was like, you know what, Chief, let's postpone.
Oh, so did it never take place, this
I
meeting?
don't remember. It never happened.
So you took me down another, you went down a different road. You didn't answer the question I asked you, which is, what happened to the urgency that you had in April? You're telling me now that you were trying to get there and then this meeting got postponed. Okay, I hear that. But what I asked you was, you said that this meeting was the meeting you were talking about on the plane to Brazil, right?
Well,
And I'm saying that was urgent. You said it was urgent, so urgent that you wanted to have this meeting as soon as you returned from Brazil. And now we're in June. So what happened to the urgency? What made it lesser? Why didn't this meeting take place sooner then?
It's just that, Chair, I'm quite honestly speaking, because I'm tweaking, the timelines will hit me hard here, but remember that there are instances where I said I wanted to talk about the Boshoga matter. Because from where I'm sitting at this level, as the team is running, investigating and conducting investigation, but I think I can assist by speaking to someone who can call Matala or say to Matala, but do you know anything about this thing? If yes, why can't you release the person? I mean, in my case, we spoke to him. I asked him and he denied. And yet the family was of firm view that he could be involved. Now, what I don't know in terms of the timelines is whether it is around about the same time when he was already kidnapped or not, Mr. Boshoga. But I've met them on two different matters. The first one is the one that I spoke about, and the second one is I had to meet him on the Boshoga matter, and the other surname I forget, where the mother and the child was kidnapped, but it was on a different time.
Okay, so when I asked you what was the meeting about, you said it was about that, this is the meeting you wanted to have. That's what you were referring to when you were on the plane to Brazil, right? It was about the report on extortion and the bucket system within the taxi, broadly speaking, industry, okay? And then when I asked you, but then if that was urgent and it was a report you were preparing, what happened to the urgency? Now you're saying that actually what this meeting was about Jerry Boshoga, to talk about that topic. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I'm saying, I might say that was the case. I'm speaking from where I'm speaking, from relying on my memory of something that happened in the past, I'm sure 2 years ago. Now, I'm saying I know that I met him on 2 different issues. 2 or 3 different issues. When I say 2 or 2 different issues, I'm saying once I'm talking to kidnappings, and then also that one of, I said he's in construction, but I also spoke about Jerry Boshoch, I mean, the taxi bucket system.
Okay, I'm just pointing out to you that at first you said it was about one topic, and then you said, well, maybe it could have been about this other topic. But also what you said is, when you met them, this is now not just, if it's about Jerry Boshocha, I would think that you would want to have that conversation with Mr. Motsumi, not with a group of people.
Not with her?
Group of people. Because when you first spoke about this earlier today, your explanation was that Mr. Motsumi knows Mr. Matlala well. And you wanted to probe him and to get information on what's going on, right? And what are these allegations all about? What information you would want to get information from Mr. Motsumi?
Not to probe him, but to check with him if you could really assist.
That's fine. That's what I mean. It's to get information,
Yeah.
to assist in understanding what was going on. Fair enough. But now when I asked you about this meeting, you said when I met with them. And if you were meeting with, if the topic of discussion was Jerry Boshocha, it would have been with Mr. Motsumi alone, not with a broader group. Isn't that so?
Yes.
Okay. So the meeting now is about what then? What is it about?
Which one?
This meeting in June.
In June.
Yes.
At this present moment, I'm not sure whether it's still the same project we're working on, or at that point in time is when I was now going to discuss the issue of Mr. Boshocha. But the timelines are the ones that would hit me there, but I don't know.
Okay, well, I can tell you I'm advised that Mr. Boshocha was kidnapped in November 2024, so it couldn't have been about that.
All right. So which means it was still on the bucket system.
So it was the bucket system.
Yeah,
The urgent issue.
in the construction, yes.
But, and then you say that meeting never took place.
It never took place because when I finished late, they were gone.
So so let me just go back to that. You say are they still there, 1939? And he says, Sergeant Nkosi, 1945, yes. How far? Give me 30 minutes on my way. And then you went to the venue. Sergeant Nkosi didn't come back to you to say, sorry, it's too late. They've left.
I think we spoke over the phone and said, no, they said we must postpone.
Okay.
Yes.
So if this meeting was about the report that you were working on, that's work-related. That's a work-related
Yes.
meeting.
Yes.
Why is it that it's Sergeant Nkosi who is the person who sets up these meetings? Let me put it a different way. Normally, when you set up meetings, you have a professional environment where you're setting up meetings with people, whoever it is, for this purpose, but for the purposes of work, you communicate through a PA, or you communicate directly
Yes.
with the person. Why is it that you communicate via Sergeant Nkosi? And in all of these, I've taken you through quite a few now of these meetings and arrangements that are being made, and it's always Sergeant Nkosi who's the person who is the go-between.
It is not in all instances where you have to communicate through the PA, because some meetings are meetings, like for an example, meetings with informers, it won't be with PAs. And in the underground or underworld or organized crime system, where you are able to get information from other criminals, you do get such information. I mean, we've met with criminals who are involved in cash in transit and then who assist with information on other criminal activity that will tell you about a particular matter that happened somewhere. So in that kind of a scenario or a situation where you meet someone like that, it's not like a question can be asked as to why didn't you arrange that meeting through the office, because it's not everybody wants to be known to be talking to you.
So is Mr. Mutsumi involved in organized crime?
I don't say he's involved in organized crime, but he's involved in assisting, and also if you need information to some, you do approach certain individuals, considering the fact that he was given to me by Mr. Mswazi to say, as I'm ailing now, I'm not well, I'm giving you to this person to that you can talk to. If needs be, he will be the one to contact me. That's how I went.
But can I just ask differently the same question, General? You have met, you say you met Mr. Mutsumi through Mr. Mswazi, Mr. Msibi. So you've already had an engagement with him before. How is it that Sergeant Nkosi is the one that's arranging these work-related meetings now? And keep in mind that you have said to us, Sergeant Nkosi is not in your office. He's 5 levels down, he's not in your office. How is he playing this role where you were referred by Mr. Msibi, not by Sergeant Nkosi, to Mr. Mutsumi, and yet Mr. Nkosi, Sergeant Nkosi is so inserted in arranging meetings between you and Mr. Mutsumi? Explain how that comes about.
I really didn't see anything wrong to ask Sergeant Nkosi, because these are the people that he knows very well. And to say to him, I would like to have this meeting, please assist me in getting an appointment. I saw nothing wrong.
So, and yeah, I think there's also, I do struggle with what appears to be a conflation between his role in your life. At some point, you're dealing with him as a subs officer, and hence my question now. When you share documents with him, you say, well, I was sharing with a subs officer. So I asked the question in that context, that you have a subs officer who's significantly your junior, who's not in your office. How is he arranging business meetings with you when you've got other people who are closer to you in terms of how they work by rank and in other respects? This is not a social gathering or get-together, you're telling us. It's a work-related meeting. You may not see anything wrong with it, but please explain it so that it makes sense to us, because we are investigating these relationships where serious allegations have been made. So we do need to understand from you, why is Sergeant Nkosi arranging meetings for you with a person that you have been introduced and you've already met? And so presumably you have his number. And I don't want to suggest yet what I want to propose to you is happening, because I really would like to hear an explanation that, for lack of a better word, that makes sense. Why is Sergeant Nkosi involved in arranging work meetings for you?
I preferred talking to him about these people because he was close to, so it was easy for him to call them anytime and to arrange meetings. So that's how I prefer to work.
You were not using him to communicate because he is your dedicated go-between between you and the people that are involved with Mr. Matlala,
No.
or that are in Mr. Matlala's world.
No, he made it easy for me. It was easy for me to say, please arrange a meeting between myself and so. It wasn't with any other person. Each and every one of them had his own role. If, let's say, for instance, one was to deal with a problem in Wheatbank mining area, I knew who to contact.
So okay. Was Sergeant Nkosi involved with those Wheatbank meetings? I mean, it's what you're starting now is only relevant if you want to show that Sergeant Nkosi, you didn't just use him for the Mr. Matala-related group of people. You also used him with other groups, and he was the communicator. If that's what you're saying, and you're going to give us evidence of that, then that's fine. Maybe it proves your point. But if it's to tell us about you had other people who were the go-between in other communities, it doesn't help us understand why Sergeant Nkosi is involved here.
It's unfortunate that the focus is on Sergeant Nkosi and Sergeant Nkosi alone. But I had many people in the office that I work with that could, or that assisted in many other directions. But to just give another practical example, he's from Soshanguve, or he grew up, I think he testified, he grew up from there. Now, there was a lady whose car was stolen at some point, and I also got a call that says, hey, so-and-so's car has been stolen, please assist. I called a number of people to assist within organized crime to let them know the syndicates that steals car, or maybe where cars have been that are stolen have been taken to.
But Sergeant Nkosi is not one of those people.
He's the one who assisted, in fact.
Yes.
I called him. He was one of the people who actually assisted to trace that car.
Yes.
That day.
Yes, we do have text about you and him talking about tracing somebody's car, and the car has been found. In time, I guess it will be discussed, but there is something like that. But please keep in mind the discussion we are having now is you have an undeniable group of people who are a Mr. Matala kind of group. You have General Shibiri, who's, we have what connects him, or apparent connections to to Mr. Matala. You have you speaking to Mr. Mutsumi about Mr. Matala because you thought you could speak to Mr. Matala, so there is a connection that you are giving us there. So Sergeant Nkosi comes up in that way, in the context of this particular group of people. And the question is, why is he so in the middle of making arrangements for you when you could be dealing with these people directly? He's not an informant. You're not dealing with Sergeant Nkosi as an informant. You're not dealing with Mr. Mutsumi as an informant, unless that's what you tell us. You've met him before, you have his number. Why are you not arranging your own meetings with Mr. Mutsumi? He will pick up your phone. You've met. You've exchanged numbers. Why are you not calling him? Arrange your own meetings.
I think this question is coming. It's more than, I don't know how many times now, and we kept on responding to say that I preferred to tell him to assist me to arrange a meeting, and then he would do it.
Okay, General, if you feel you've answered it, let's leave it at that. I'm happy to leave it.
All right.
I'll just add one thing, and it's because we've gone through a few of these examples, and each of them have their own features. And this particular exchange, what's happening is you are in a meeting, and it's sort of a fluid environment, okay? And meaning it's fluid in the sense that you're not sure exactly what time you're going to finish, and only you know when once you are ready, once you are done and you are on your way. The easiest way of communicating in that kind of scenario is to communicate directly with the person you are meeting, rather than via an intermediary, because you can't even be sure that the person you're going through will receive your message fast enough, will communicate with the other party fast enough. Then they have to come back, via back to you. So it's to me, it's a strange. I hear what you're saying, that Sergeant Nkosi did this for you, many, many times. But this is a situation where it would have been much easier if you just called Mr. Mutsumi directly and said, or sent him a text directly. You were able to text because you were texting Sergeant Nkosi. To just send Mr. Mutsumi the text directly to say, this is where I am, this is what's happening, and I'll need another 10 minutes, another half an hour, etc., until such time as you get to the meeting, in which case maybe the meeting would have happened. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's unusual.
I do understand, but I think it's the same question repeated many times still. And I'm still saying it's a matter of preference. I preferred to just tell him, because it made it easier for me to just tell him, and then he will do the rest. So to me, that's how I preferred.
You say you preferred to communicate through Sergeant Nkosi.
It was easy for me when I told him to say, man, I'm trying to secure an appointment with so and so and so and so and so. Please see if he's available or he can meet me.
Yes. On these issues, have you had communication directly with Mr. Mutsumi? Or was it always through Sergeant Nkosi because he knows them, as you say?
I might have 1 or 2 times or 3 times. It might have happened. I can't say it never happened. It's just that some of the people, you don't prefer to talk to them all the time directly, simply because of the fact that you don't want to have that talking relationship. I used to speak to Mr. Nkosi simply because of the fact that to me it was easy when I'm sitting in a meeting or when I come to the office. I say, man, I have an issue that I need to discuss. Maybe he can assist me. Please talk to so and so.
And then the same question about Mr. Matala. Have you have a record of communicate? When I say record, I mean, do you have a history of communicating directly with him or not?
If I have, it would be less than 5 times, less than 4 times. It has never been a person that I communicate to.
Okay. Thank you.
Why I'm saying it is because I don't want to say never. In the meantime, you find 2 or 3.
You say in the meantime, we find. No, we rely on you, General, to tell. We shouldn't have to search for it. Thank you, General. Thank you, Ms. Kassim.
Okay. I still maintain, General, that while I hear you when you say it might be easier sometimes to say arrange an appointment for me, it's not easy in this scenario to go via somebody because it's this kind of constant communication, which is easier to be done direct. But I'm leaving it at that.
Unless, of course, General, Sergeant Nkosi was already there with them. Because if he was there with the people you are going to meet, then it makes sense that you communicate with somebody who's there. But if he's in another location, Advocate Hassim's point is that why go through a third party to communicate with people who are waiting for you? Was he there with them, Sergeant Nkosi?
No, not necessarily like that, Chair. Commissioners. Of importance is that when I have few people that I'm relying on in the office.
General, let's do this. Let me interrupt you. I'm asking about the specific day, not generally. So generally, you have a few people that you're relying on. On this specific day, there were people waiting for you somewhere because you were supposed to meet with them. And the question you are being asked is why you are communicating with them via a third party. So I'm raising a possibility. I'm not saying this was the case. I just need to know, was Sergeant Ngosi there with the people you were supposed to meet? Is that why you were communicating through him? And the answer can be yes, he was there, or no, he was not there.
I don't know. I wouldn't have asked him, are you there? But if he arranged a meeting for me, and then maybe he communicate with them, and then even if he asked me how far, maybe he wouldn't have been there himself, but he's just asking me how far so that he can tell them.
And the reason I'm asking is some of your questions are they still there? As if he's sitting there with them waiting for you. And I could be wrong. That's why I'm posing it as a question and not putting it as a fact.
It's also possible that when I ask him that are they still there, then you will ask them, are you guys still there? Can you still come? Then he will say, no, they are still there or not.
All right. Thank you.
Just before we leave Steve Mutsumi and this context, when General Sonona came to the Commission, he expressed, in fact, he requested that he does not mention Mr. Mutsumi's name in his evidence. And that was in the context of a text message that Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi sent him, okay, where Mr. Mutsumi's name was mentioned, and your name, but we'll get there. But it was particularly Mr. Mutsumi's name that General Sonona said he fears for his security, for his own physical safety, if he were to mention that name. Do you have any idea why that would be the case? Is Mr. Mutsumi a dangerous person?
I really don't know.
Okay. All right. I'll leave it at that. I was just wanted to put it to you that this seems to be somebody who causes some discomfort and fear. It was a very clear request from General Sonona, please don't make me mention that name. And it actually took a ruling from the chair for General Sonona to mention Mr. Mutsumi's name. You're not aware of anything circling around Mr. Mutsumi, any reason one should be afraid?
No, I don't have any reason.
General, what do you know about the nature of the relationship, the relationship and its nature between Mr. Mutsumi and Mr. Matlala?
Mr. Mutsumi, as I was referred to Mr. Mutsumi by Mr. Msibi, and also having heard that Mr. Matlala was Mr. Msibi's VIP protector. This takes me to the next point of saying that, but if everybody says this man is involved and is denying it, who I can speak to, who can actually sit him down and say, are you involved in this thing? Do you know about this thing? So it was, that's me applying my own approach and my own mind into making sure that I get assistance in being assisted to get this man released in case Mr. Matlala is involved.
So is your answer that you did not know what relationship they have other than you were referred by Mr. Msibi to Mr. Mutsumi and you knew that Mr. Matlala is VIP protection of Mr. Msibi. You didn't know anything about their relationship?
I don't know about their relationship other than the fact that they know each other from Mr. Msibi.
Okay. So when you spoke to Mr. Mutsumi, as you say you did, about Mr. Bushokha and Mr. Matala, what was being said, the questions you were asking, what you were doing it blind. What did you expect? Why did you think that Mr. Mutsumi can be of assistance if you don't know anything about their relationship other than that they're both connected to Mr. Msibi?
It happened many times in this type of work that I'm doing, where you find that sometimes you find someone who can speak sense to somebody, who can assist in the investigation or even give guidance and say, I think I'll call him and I'll sit down with him and I'll tell you whether he knows he did it or not.
So you thought that Mr. Mutsumi has the ability to call Mr. Matala and sit him down and talk about this?
Yes.
That's what you knew about their relationship?
Yes.
Okay, so you knew that he's got that kind of ability?
That kind of proximity.
Okay. And did he speak to him? I mean,
yes.
And did you get the kind of answers that you wanted?
He said the man is denying, he says he's not involved.
Okay. I think somewhere in your evidence you then also say you did speak to Mr. Matala about Mr. Bushokha. Am I correct?
Correct.
In what context? Were you in your office? Did you call him into this? Is a detective now. I'm assuming you're not being friends now. Where does this happen, and in what context?
If you remember, Chair, at some point he did say that he came to my office. When I called, he did come to my office. He said, is when I was asking him about that. I don't remember when, in terms of the timelines, but...
When you say, you remember, he said that he hasn't appeared before us, so maybe be a little more specific where you're recollecting him. I mean, we haven't followed all of his evidence wherever he's spoken.
He was talking. He was speaking at the ad hoc committee. That at some point I called him. I did call him to ask him.
Into your office.
Into my office.
Yes.
And then he categorically denied about his involvement in this thing. Instead, he assisted me with further information that actually assisted the team further.
So this was a formal thing when you called him to your office?
It was a formal thing that when I called him in the office, but having denied and in realizing that, but this man sitting in front of him, when I look at him like this, he appears normal, he appears like a gentleman, and he says that doesn't know, but still the family is of a firm view that this man is the one. And rumors and many saying, hey, but this man could be involved. Then that's when I said, you know what, let's look into other.
So there would be a record of this interview or this discussion with him, because you did this, you were performing your duties, he came to your office. That's the clearest sign that you were executing your duties. There has to be a record.
There will be a record somewhere, whether it's at head office. I don't know at head office security how they do it.
No, I'm not asking a record of did he come. I'm asking a record. I imagine you would have taken notes. There has to be a record that this person was called in. You had a discussion with him. There's a record of a note somewhere of your discussion with him, the questions you asked him, even if not point by point, but this is what was discussed with him, these are the answers he gave. That's the kind of record I'm asking about.
There will be a record because he gave me of 3 scenarios and say, I'm not involved here. And the reason why I stopped assisting these people is because, remember, I know Jerry and I've grown up with Jerry. He's been a close friend of mine. But let me tell you, Jerry doesn't have money. He didn't have money. I have more money than Jerry. So I wouldn't be involved in the kidnapping of Jerry. That's the first scenario. The second scenario he gave and the third scenario he gave.
Okay.
Those scenarios, I gave all of them to the investigating officers because it was a team. And the scenarios, those scenarios that he also gave, some of them he testified about at the commission. There's another one that is a little bit, which is a scenario that he gave, but I gave it to the team, but it's sensitive.
Okay. Don't disclose anything that you shouldn't. Just finally, I just want to be sure that I understand your answer and we're talking about the same thing. I'm specifically limiting myself to the day he came to your office when I say there is a record. So someone in your office should be able to pull, if we wanted a record, should be able to pull a record that shows on this day you met with Mr. Matlala in the office and it has a date to it and this was the subject of discussion. I'm asking you that kind of question.
It should be, although I no longer have an office because it's...
Yes, no, I know you're not in the office, but sure, these are SAPS records, right? So even if you're not in the office, there should be a document there somewhere.
I so pray.
Okay, so if we ask for it, we'll be able to find something like that. That records you had a meeting with Mr. Matlala on this date in your office, and this was the discussion. And you asked him this, and this is what he said to you.
I don't know who the commission will ask from, but looking at the kind of relationship that I have with my employer currently as it stands, I don't expect anything positive to come out of that.
Okay.
So,
but the principle is there is a record there. You're saying you did have a record. You didn't just sit over a cup of coffee and had a chat, is what I'm asking. It was an official meeting.
There should be.
You asked him questions, you recorded it, and if everyone did their job to keep records, there is a record, and they're honest about it, they will give us a record of that discussion if we ask for it.
There should be commissioners, but I want to say don't bank on the fact that if it doesn't get produced, then it's like I never told the truth.
Don't anticipate that. You and I hope that we will get it. Let's for now leave it at that. Your answer is there is a record. It was an official meeting. And if the commission were to ask for it, we will say on this day you testified and you said you met with him. You just don't remember the date. You say.
I don't remember the date, but I'm asking to give one example of what I'm talking about, Commissioner, if I could be allowed.
If maybe you can make your example, but
one example.
Let me say this, that for purpose of our discussion, please do not focus on we may not get it. I understand what you're saying. We may not get it because maybe there are shenanigans, maybe it's not there for whatever reason. So that part I understand. That's what you're saying.
What I know is that I asked my legal team to ask for information from the SAPS. It was never provided, including the minutes of the meeting of the 1st of November, wherein the National Commissioner actually was heard saying this is just a task team. It was never meant to.
They fear the chairperson more than your legal team, so don't worry. The chairperson has more power than your
what I'm saying is that we asked, and to date, I don't have anything that I could also play here and say, listen to the National Commissioner, but we asked, we never received.
Okay.
Now, I'm saying I'm not hopeful. If it's not there, I'm also not, the chair must not hold it against me if they say there's no record, because I don't expect anything positive.
Thank you,
there.
General. I hear your answer. Thank you. Ms. Asim?
Question that requires a yes or no answer. And I'm prefacing it so that we don't get a long explanation. Has there ever been an occasion where yourself, Mr. Matlala, Mr. Mutsumi, and Mr. Msibi were together in one place?
Not at all, not even once.
At a farm, somebody else's farm?
Not at all.
You've never been with the three of them together?
Not at all.
Thank you.
Okay, let's move on. Can I ask you, please, General, to have a look at, I think, the same file that you have in front of you. It's page 321, though. Page 321. Do you have it?
Yes.
Okay. So there's just one message here that I want to draw your attention to before we move, and that's chat number 5, where you sent to Sergeant Nkosi the following message. The National Commissioner of Eswatini just died here at OR Tambo. I'm going there now. Right?
Yes.
You sent that to Sergeant Nkosi. Now, if we were to look on the same day, I'm going to need you now to open file 8. And go to page 730.
Page 7.
File 8,
Page
730.
13, not 13, not
730.
30. Oh.
Okay, so that's a chat between Sergeant Nkosi and a number that he has saved in his phone as Mswazi Taxi Boss. When Sergeant Nkosi testified before the commission, he confirmed that Mswazi Taxi Boss is actually Mr. Msibi. Okay? He forwards the message you sent to him about the National Commissioner of Eswatini having just died at OR Tambo. He forwards that early in the morning, half an hour after you sent it. So he sends it at 5 a.m. to Mr. Msibi. And then he follows it with a message saying, "Morning, Baba. It was SMS from number 1 this morning." So the reference to number 1 here is you.
I'm not sure about it. I know I'm in trouble, but I can laugh about it. I'm not sure whether I'm number 1. Number 1 is the president. That's what I know.
Okay, so that's why I first went to your message to Sergeant Nkosi. You send it to him, he forwards it to MCB, he says it came from number 1. Which means that it also assumes that Mr. MCB calls you number 1, or that he knows.
I wish I was
who you
number
are.
1, but I'm not number 1. I assume, let me accept that maybe perhaps it was me. I didn't know they called me number 1, but I accept maybe it's me because I
in
did
that
send a
circle,
message.
in that circle, not above.
Did you know that Mr. MCB and these people, the circle, as Commissioner Kumalo puts it, called you number 1? Were you aware of that?
I wasn't aware because Mr. Msibi is a well-respected person in such a way that he's not the one that to call me number 1. So I didn't know I'm being called number 1.
Is there any reason why you think they would call you number 1, even if it's behind your back?
The National Commissioner will be number 1, but this one I don't know the reason why.
General, the National Commissioner would be number one in other communities, maybe in the SAPs.
In the SAPs.
Yeah, but here it's a completely different community that is discussing your being number one. And it seems that it's fair to suggest to you that Mr. Msibi seemed to have known that you are referred to as number one, because that's all that Sergeant Nkosi says when on forwarding your message. It's from number one. It doesn't say who's number one. And so reasonable to assume that Sergeant Msibi Sergeant Nkosi expected Mr. Msibi to know who he's talking about. I see you nodding. Do you accept that it's a fair?
I accept, Chair.
My question is really, what reason would they have to call you number one?
Maybe Sergeant Nkosi can explain that better.
Okay, you don't have anything more to say on that?
I've heard in other instances they call me Skoko.
I saw that. I wanted to ask you about that.
And then Skoko, I thought always was referred to as to the minister, former minister, because he wears a hat. I've got a communist hat that I wear all the time. And then I don't know whether that was the reason I'm being called Skoko, because that is the hat I wear. Now, one moment it was Skoko, and then this one of number one, I saw it for the first time here.
Okay, I'm going to leave it at that.
General, you said number one would be the National Commissioner.
Number one of the police is the NOSCO.
Maybe they were projecting that for you.
Not at this stage.
You would be number one.
Not at this stage.
Okay. So, what we've seen so far are these communications and a pattern, as I explained to you, what I see as a pattern of communication between you and other people via Sergeant Nkosi, and the role that Sergeant Nkosi plays in doing things for you. On that theme, I want to turn to a different topic within that theme, though. So I'm going to take you to a series of pages. But let me begin first at page 339, so it would be file 7. Right, so it's page 339, and it's chat number 3. It's from Sergeant Nkosi to you, 6 May 2024, at 15:39.
Where are we? I was still reading at 340. 339.
339, it's chat number 3. So it's Sergeant Nkosi to you on 6 May 2024 at 15:39. He sends you a notice of payment saying it's done. Now I just need you to go to see that proof of payment. You need to go to page 440 in the same file.
400
440, 440. Let me know when you're there.
Yes.
Okay, I want to handle this with care, so I'm not going to mention names. But what this is a proof of payment for a school, right?
Yes.
And it's for a beneficiary whose name is there.
Yes.
Okay, so what is this payment about?
It's a person who asked for assistance because the person wanted to assist, for the child at school, and then asked for assistance, and then I said, okay, let me give you the money to give. And then I said, so normally I would either give him money. Now from where he's sitting, he will just pay it over himself, and then, but in my case, I gave him money to assist.
No, this is not a payment from you. This
Yes.
is not you making a payment.
Yes,
This is Mr. Nkosi making a payment.
yes.
Right. So explain that again, because he is making a payment to this person for the school, and he's sending it to you, the proof of payment, to say it's done.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
So that doesn't help me. Your answer was sometimes you assist. But how are you assisting if it's Mr. Sergeant Nkosi who's making the payment?
What will happen is that he will say to me, I paid it. Or I shall have said to him, please pay for me and I'll give it to you, and I'll give it to him.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Sometimes I sit with a person and say, I have to send a e-wallet to this person, but I've got cash. Can you please send the e-wallet and I give the cash?
Okay. So this is an example of you asking him, can you please make the payment and you'll pay him back?
Yes, and there's records in that regard.
There are records of you
Yeah.
paying him back for
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
Okay, I'd appreciate it if you could provide us with that record. Do you know who is this person?
Yes, I do.
The reference on beneficiary statement.
I do know the person.
What's your relationship with this person?
The person used to work for me as a manager. When I was fired, I opened a security company. And then, but because I was also working and also operating a security company, I asked the person to run the security company for me. But now the monies I owe the person felt that, look, you still owe me money in terms of the salaries. And then I'm also suffering because of my child must be at school. And then I had to then pay, assist with the school fees where I needed to assist. So as a result, when I came back to the police, I resigned from that company, and left the person to run with the company.
This person runs the company?
Yeah, but finally she couldn't proceed because it died. But she ran that company.
So you opened a security company in what year? 2017 or when?
Somewhere around there, and it pushed through for quite, I don't know until when.
What was the name of the company?
High-tech special operations and risk management.
Okay. And you say you resigned.
I resigned because even when you check record, it's there.
You resigned as what? Are you still a director of the company?
No.
Are you sure about that?
I'm sure about that because I resigned a long time ago. When I had to go back to the police, I had to make sure that I'm clean.
Right. So when I ask, are you a director, if you say I no longer run the company, I don't manage it, I'm not the boss, the CEO, the executive director, I appreciate that. But are you still registered as a director?
No.
Are you still, do you know what I mean? Are you still linked to this company?
No.
Okay. Now, your explanation for having to make payments is because this person was complaining that the salary was too low and she needed money to pay for school fees. But why are you still, if you'd resigned, what is your responsibility? Why is it your responsibility?
I owed the person money, because of the salaries that could have been paid, that weren't being paid at some point.
When did you resign from the company?
I don't have a record of that now. But if the investigators can check, because I give them the name, and then, or given an opportunity, I can ask the person to check.
Okay.
But with, I don't know whether it's SIRA or with where the register of companies, they can check for us.
Okay. But I'm asking you, and yes, we can check, but do you recall, did you resign when you started working at the City of Johannesburg? No.
I'm not sure. I don't want
Did you resign when you started?
I don't want to commit to a date, but I know I resigned.
I know, but you said earlier that you resigned because you had to resign. You couldn't have the company anymore. So there's an event that you can at least tell us about that caused you to resign.
Yeah, I did resign. The only problem is that I struggle to get to to give a firm date.
I don't need a firm date, even if it's a month or a year, this month in that year, or even just the year.
Chair, I think it is sufficient if I say we can get the record. And the record, I won't speculate, I won't be giving a missed date. I'll be giving the date that shows that we resigned on this day.
I accept that. I don't need an exact date. Give me a year. What year did you resign?
I don't want to make a mistake. What if I say I resigned 2020, before I went back to the police?
Okay, no, that's I think what I'm trying to say. I thought that maybe that's what you were wanting to say, is when you returned to the service, that was 2022. You would have resigned at that point, isn't it?
Not at that point, before that, long before.
So before 2022. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. But now this is 2024. So it's some time since you've left the company and you still owe the person money, you say?
Yes.
This is according to this?
Yes. And then, or sometimes if a person asks and say, I'm asking to be assisted, child must go to school, and then I assist. And I assist many. So
okay. I accept that.
I then assist.
Well, what you said was that you owed this person money because of the salary was low, etc. And so because you owed her money, this is what you were doing to assist.
Yes.
Right. So if you resigned before 2022 and you no longer had anything to do with the company, my question was, a few years later, you still owed this person money that you were still paying off in this way.
Yes.
That's what you were doing. So that's not assisting, that's just paying back what you owe.
What is important to note, commissioners, and you can send the investigators to go and verify. There's a relationship with Mr. Nkosi and this person as they are from the same place. They are all close relatives, so they know each other very well. So that is why it's easy to work with Mr. Nkosi on this one. And they can go and verify independently. They will see in terms of how they relate and how they know each other. They will come across that information.
Okay, so there's this payment. I'm going to take you to another. And it's at page 158.
File?
158. It'll be file 7. I think that this is the same transaction. It's the same, I think it was sent to two numbers. Do you have more than one phone, right? So this was sent to your other phone. Can you confirm that?
Yes.
Okay. Then can I take you to page 341, still in the same file?
Sorry, Ms. Hassan. May we see counsel outside very briefly, please?
Yes.
Let's adjourn. Yes, Ms. Hassan.
General, I took you to a page that was a page of another payment like the first one. I'm not going to go through each one of the payments, but could you just have a look at page 441?
Which file?
The file 7, the one that you have open. File 441.
Thank you very much, Chair.
Okay, 441, 442. 443. And 262.
Two 262.
262.
Yes, I've got it.
Okay. Now, and we're not going to display the next page, but I'd like you to go to page 163.
163.
Yeah. And that is chat number 7.
Yes.
You read that, and then if you can read the next page, chat number 1 and 2, and actually 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Which page? 163.
So, sorry. I think I took you to 163, and I asked you to read chat number 7. Okay? The chat continues on to page 164. If you could just read that exchange of messages on page 164 between you and Sergeant Nkosi.
What I want to ask, Chair, I will read. Do I have to repeat this name here, or can I
No.
skip the name?
No. The reason I'm not displaying it and I'm not asking you about the contents right now is because I don't want you to read the names.
Oh, I thought you said I must read it loud.
No.
I've got it.
No, we've got the pages for the record. I really just want you to read it so you are familiar with the contents here, and then I'll just have a question at the end.
I've read it.
Okay. You've read the whole of page 164.
Yes.
Okay. Can I take you then to page 196? And at 196, actually, before we go here, the payments and the chats that you've just looked at, those are all for the same person, is that correct?
Page 196.
No. Before you look at 196, I just want to pause. Remember, I took you to a series of payments.
Yes,
And then those chats that we didn't read.
yes.
All of those payments that are reflected there, is that all for the same person you were talking about?
Yes.
Okay. And those payments were made by Sergeant Nkosi on your behalf?
Yes.
And you say you repaid him?
Yeah, money come from me.
Okay, and you'll be able to show us that there was a reimbursement?
I think so.
Okay. Could you check?
Not now, immediately.
No, that's fine. You can let us know through your legal representatives afterwards. Okay, now we're at 196. And we have at chat number 6. You'll see there's an attachment there,
Which page?
page 196.
I'm at 196, chat number?
5.
Yes.
Okay. That's on 24 December 2024. Now that attachment is at page 271. So you need to just flip forward a bit to page 271. This is an invoice. Do you see that?
Yes.
Is this a payment that Sergeant Nkosi also made on your behalf? It's for a fridge.
It's not for a fridge. It's the people that fix my fridge at home that I know that normally are the one that services my fridge. He doesn't even know them himself.
Okay. So was this for servicing the fridge?
Yeah, it is 3 fridges.
Right. 3 fridges. Your fridges.
Yes, it's the one in the house and the deep freezer, and then the one for the gardener. His fridge was not working, so they had to refill the gas and all that.
Okay.
But it's one person who comes and fixes the fridge.
Okay. So so let's just look at each invoice. The first is at page 271. That's what we were looking at. The second is at page 272. Okay, so the first one is for 9,100. The second is for 2,535 rands. And then there's a proof of payment on page 273.
Yes.
And that payment was made by Mr. Nkosi.
Yes.
Okay. And you say this was done on your behalf and you reimbursed him.
I gave him money. Or you may find that I was not even around, maybe when I asked him to go and do it for me. But I paid for it. He would not be in a position to pay for me all these things. I was giving him money.
But the payment, the proof of payment, if you look at page 273, is a payment that's made by Sergeant Nkosi.
Yeah.
So you reimbursed him, is that what you're saying?
Yes, I do give him money.
Okay, and you'd have proof that you reimbursed him?
Even if, as we are sitting here, commissioners, and we give the telephone number of the person now, and they communicate with him, he will actually better tell them what happened. Then they can ask him any question they want to and consult with him, because this is what he has been doing over years. Is the person, is a kind of a fridge that needs it's a Samsung fridge, and then it only needs certain expert. It's a person I've been working with over a period of time. So now, due to my schedule, the person that I relied on was him to help me with certain. You can't bring everybody into your space, but the person that I could rely on to assist me in case I'm not able to get there, it was him. So sometimes you give him, let's say I gave him money, I never knew that he's using or he's transferring from his own account. But quite honestly speaking, they can, even the person now, the investigators now, can go out now and speak to the person for however long they will get what they want. So I'm just saying I was the one paying.
Or, General, I heard you say I gave him money. He would not have been able to pay. Did I hear you correctly?
Yes, I mean all this payment continuously for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you give him the money before so that he could pay using that money, or would you only give him the money afterwards?
Many a times it will be vice versa. Sometimes you find that he'll say, General, I thought I paid this thing, and then you will give me. Or I will say, please pay for me, come get the money. Or sometimes I will send a PA from the office when I'm not there, and then sometimes I have cash, but I can't send e-wallet. And then I ask someone, say, can you please e-wallet for me? Here's the money.
And what do you mean when you say he would not have been able to pay?
When I say he would not be able to pay, let's say 9,100, to ask from a junior person to pay 9,100 is a lot of money. So I gave him money to pay. And then even now, this person, they can confirm how it was done. In fact, I thought I paid cash because I gave cash.
Thank you, General.
You say you normally pay him back in cash,
Yes.
so you wouldn't have then a record of the reimbursement?
Of there?
Reimbursement. There wouldn't be a record if he pays these amounts and then you give him the cash.
Yeah, I don't think so, because they don't give a receipt that shows his investment. But in his case, if I gave it to him, I didn't need a receipt.
And why did you not do electronic transfers? Why did you have to give him cash?
Why would I give him cash, Chair? Is that coming back to the police, my salary went down. Very bad, to an extent that if I even when I get salary, I have to wait until certain debit orders go through. Otherwise, if I don't, and I start using money, find that the lot bounce back. Now the cash I have, because I have other businesses that actually are declared, that some of them are cash-based, in such a way that I will get that amount of money in my own hand.
Thank you, General. Yes, Ms. Hassan.
Can you go to page 274? It's another payment. It's for 5,000 Rand, and I take it this is for the same person.
This one is like the previous ones that we were reading at, yes.
Okay. So again, you're saying, how would you have paid Sergeant Nkosi back for this payment of 5,000? This is on 24 December 2024 as well.
I gave him money. As you can see, even the reason down there, what was it for, but I did pay the money. It was coming from me.
Okay. So these payments, this you say that he does, this you say is part of what he just normally does for you. And it's sort of a favor that he does for you.
Yes,
He helps you out.
yes.
Okay. And if you could, if there are records of reimbursement, initially I thought you said there would be if we asked the investigators, and then you said, well, actually you pay cash. So I'm not sure which one exactly it is, but if there are records, could you provide it to the Commission?
Look, to say, because as far as I'm concerned, these are some of those transactions that really you want to see it through. And if I give money, it is paid. I didn't expect that Sergeant Nkosi, will give me a receipt, because it wouldn't be of any assistance if it is in his name anyway.
Okay, so all of your payments to him were in cash?
This one, in these instances, yes.
In all of the instances I put to you?
Yes. If let's say, for instance, it was a big transaction, then I would understand if maybe the commissioners will be worried and say, so much money to buy this cash. But now these are small amounts of money that I have. Because I have livestock in the family, I have to keep on buying food for this, food for that, food for this person coming to fix this and that. Some of them you find that there are people from outside the country, they want cash. So I will have that type of cash. These are small, relatively small amount of money. So it's doable, and unfortunately, is how it happened.
Okay. I'm not going to ask you any further questions on these payments. So unless the commissioners have, what I want to ask you is, you mentioned the company, High Tech Special Operations and Risk Management, I believe. Do you have any other companies, or are you a director in any other companies?
Chair, because of the fact that I've been knocked down different times in life, and as you go out, you register a company, you start something, then you go back to the police, you fix your life again, and then you resign, and then you'll get knocked down again, you have to start something again. So I know very few. We also owned a bus that was transporting school kids to school. We also had an Uber. We have rooms. I'm just trying to say, this is how I would get to some of this. So the question was very simple. Do you have any other company? Now, you will have a company that transportation business will report under a particular company. So
You said we. Who's we?
it will be me and my wife, but sometimes it will be my wife alone. In some instances, I owned a jazz cafe and a tuck shop, and I've had a number of businesses along the way as I go along, real businesses.
Are you currently a director in any companies other than High Tech?
I'm not a director at any company, to as far as I can remember. I know of different trading companies that I've had, and then to as far as I know, I've resigned. If ever there could be one, it must have been deregistered by now. But I don't remember. I'm not a director of any company now other than working for the South African Police Service.
And the other companies that you were a director of, what was the name of those companies?
I remember Mongrish Trading Enterprise, Mongrish Trading Enterprise. I remember high-tech special operations. Some I don't remember really. I may have one or two more, but they all didn't happen all at the same time. Each one of them do have its own time period, and not necessarily meaning that they all operated or were in active business. Sometimes you start something with the hope that it's going to take off, then you secure the name, then you don't get there. I have tried to register one not so long ago, but I don't think we got to a point where now it is fully registered. I've paid SARS, I've paid all the dues, it's in my name. So there is it's something that I can't really, with my whole weight, say I have one or I don't have one. All I know I don't have. If ever there can be some or one more that I'm still a director, it will be a negligent on my part that I did not cancel it, but or remove myself as a director, but I don't know of any.
So the companies would have to, in order for you to register these companies, you would have had to open bank accounts for these companies, right?
Yeah.
So those bank accounts, are they still in existence, or did you close those bank accounts if you say the company is no longer?
Personally, I don't have any bank account of any particular company.
You don't?
Yes.
Besides companies, what about sole proprietorships?
I don't have any, Chair. I tried at some point also to even register a trust. It's such a long and tedious process, and then you end up nowhere in between. So I even ended up, I've paid money, but I ended up not knowing how far it went.
Do you know the name of that trust?
It will be the same, I think, the one that...
Mongrish. Is it a trust?
Family trust, something like that, but it never took off.
Okay. I'm going to move to a different topic.
Yes, my question. General, your explanation for Sergeant Ngosi making these payments on your behalf, can you just repeat that? I may have missed something that you say, why it is that he's making these numerous repeated payments on your behalf instead of you making them directly. I think you said something about debit order, your salary, and I just don't want to misrepresent what your answer is.
It was easy for me to use him and my staff officer, not my staff officer, my driver protector, the two of them. So mostly you find that now I'm with the driver where I am, and then Ngosi will be the one that I could call and say, please assist me with 1, 2, 3. Then as and whether when I come back or whatever, but I will make sure that he gets his money back.
Okay. You said something about your salary having dropped when you rejoined the police, and with the consequence that some of your debit orders, you would have to wait for debit orders to go through before you pay. Was that part of your reason to have Sergeant Nkosi do this for you?
Not because of I don't have money to pay that, my salary dropped, no. I'm saying just to avoid bouncing back of certain transactions, you end up making sure that when it is month end exactly, you don't rush to start paying, and then later you find that you are on the minus, and then some bounce back. So I don't use that mostly, but I would use on a cash base.
So you would allow debit orders to go through, and then Sergeant Nkosi is making these payments for you, and then you pay him in cash. Is that
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
I would pay him cash.
And this cash, you say, drawn from where? Where did you have what kind of other income did you have?
I did explain that I have. Firstly, we have rooms for rental.
Sorry, you had it?
Rooms for rental.
Okay.
We've got flat. I had an Airbnb. So that is why I will have cash most of the time that I have. It's not large sums of cash.
Yeah.
Like now, as we speak, I do have a lot of eggs-laying chickens, and we do sell eggs as well. We can go and check, or it's there as we speak.
Yes. Sorry, you want to say something?
Just on the egg laying, because that I understand how it could be a cash transaction in the sale of eggs. Sorry, Commissioner Pulloy.
No, please carry on.
Just but the other businesses you say you have on the side, Airbnb, rooms for rent, and Uber, the scholar transport, those kind of things wouldn't normally be cash operating businesses. An Airbnb, it would be EFT.
Not always.
You would be paid in cash for...
No, you do find walk-ins. You do find walk-ins that says that people who walk in and say, do you have a room? You say yes. I say, then can I book a room for tonight? Yes. It happens.
And then they would just put cash down?
Yes.
Okay. I would imagine it doesn't happen often, though.
It doesn't happen often, but I have rooms at home that I have. And
in your house where you live?
No, at the village. From home where I come from.
Yeah?
Yes.
And that's what you rent out?
Yes.
And you get paid in cash?
Per month. Well, some will deposit in the amount and the cash. Someone will give the money to my mother. And
the scholar transport?
Scholar transport, although we sold the bus, because some will pay in cash, some will pay in deposit, but it's something that is no longer there. Remember, I was just mentioning the lifestyle, the different lifestyle that I passed through.
So it doesn't exist anymore, that business?
No.
And the Uber?
Even the Uber was more problematic, actually, and then we tried it, and then we realized that this one is problematic.
Your business interests, the Airbnb and things like this, would you have disclosed this in your in your register of financial disclosures?
I would have disclosed it at the city of Joburg, because remember, at the city of Joburg, when I resigned, knowing that I'm now coming back to the police, I then sold the one in Sandton before coming to the police, and then it was bought by a businessman who took occupation immediately. So that's when it all stopped.
So you sold all the businesses when you went back to the SAPS?
I sold what belongs to me, yes.
So you wouldn't have had anything to disclose, you say?
Anything?
You would not have had anything to disclose?
Yes. What I've disclosed to the police is what I have, what I own. This business of the rooms for rental that I'm talking about, they are disclosed.
That you've disclosed, okay. And that's your cash business?
Yes.
And then the eggs are also your cash
The
business?
eggs, well, animals, it does happen that the person comes and say, I'm looking for a white goat for a specific traditional, I'm sick, or so-and-so is sick, and then we need this, and then they buy, I give.
Okay. Sorry, Commissioner Beloya, I interrupted you.
I think you've covered quite a bit of what I was going to cover. General, I think what I wanted to point out or to clear with you was, and you've now clarified it in your engagement, that the payments that you've been discussing with Ms. Hassim, they are in 2024 and I think 2025. And I wanted to say to you, well, at this point, you are now the Deputy National Commissioner. This is at this point. So your debits and your explanation is, I thought I had understood it earlier, that the reason Mr. Nkosi was carrying these for you on the basis that you refund him was because your salary wasn't as good as it used to be, so you were managing your debit orders vis-a-vis your daily expenditure. I had understood you to say that. So can we just clarify, in the period that you make these payments that Ms. Hassim is discussing with you, or has just discussed with you, in that entire period, your only source of funds other than your salary is your egg selling business and the rooms that you say you have?
Yes.
Are those the only two sources of income? Okay, all right. Thank you. Thanks, Ms. Hassan.
Just a moment. Can you please look at page 180 of file 7? Are you there? Yes. I needed to ask you, are you going to deal with it? Because I want to leave it for you if you're going to deal with it.
No, you may deal with it.
I had a question on this.
You may deal with it, Commissioner Khan.
All right. General, are you on page 180?
Exactly, yes.
Yes. Remember when we put to you what Nkosi's version is about the meeting you had at the office with Mr. Matlala?
Yes.
And his version was that you asked him to go collect Mr. Matlala and bring him up to your office. You remember that?
That's correct.
And you said that is not possible because in your office you have PAs. So you could not have asked him to bring Mr. Matlala up to your office. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Now, if you look at chat number 3, starting from chat 2 to chat 3 on page 180.
Yes.
Just read chat 3 into the record. You can read it loud.
This guy Imran wants to see me. He's downstairs. Can you please go get him and let Brigadier Ramangwa interview him? You beg, even bring him at the National Commissioner's boardroom so that he can see that I am busy with shortlisting.
So is this not an example of you asking Sergeant Nkosi to go fetch somebody for you downstairs and bring him to your office?
I don't deny that, Chair, and I don't mean that it never happened before. I wasn't really saying it never happened at all. But what I mean is that it wasn't my practice that he will be the one to go fetch people because Sergeant Nkosi is an investigating officer. He's mostly outside. So I take it.
So the reason I was using this example was to show you that what he says about what happened on the day you met Mr. Matlala is actually possible because it has happened in the same year that you have asked him to go fetch one of your guests downstairs and bring them to your office. And this chat is an example of that.
But because I consulted with my PA on that specific day, the one of Mr. Matlala, they say, no, General, we are the ones who went to fetch him. And from there, we took him to Brigadier so-and-so when they were done. And I guess the commission can still call her to come and explain that part.
So on the issue of the specific meeting with Mr. Matlala, you stick to your story that it never happened.
I stick
that
to my
Sergeant Nkosi went to pick him up.
I stick to my story, Chair.
All right, thank you.
But General, I have a difficulty with this response now. My impression when you testified earlier in relation to Mr. Matlala, you said you do not do this. You do not send Sergeant Nkosi to fetch people for you because you have your own staff. And I did not hear you to say that, but there are exceptions. You just said, I do not use Sergeant Nkosi to fetch people for me from downstairs and bring them up to my office. And you even gave a reason. So you did not just say, I do not do it. The reason was because you have your own staff, PAs and so on, and that those are the people who would do this for you. Now suddenly when you are confronted with this, and you asking Sergeant Nkosi to do exactly this for you, but in respect of someone else, now you suddenly suggest that there are exceptions where you would ask him to do this for you.
Chair.
From where I'm sitting, you appear to be contradicting yourself.
No, Chair, no.
Yes.
No. Chair, in a normal course of duty, it happens that sometimes even the staff, the PAs are all busy. Sometimes I've sent, even Brigadier Ramawa, even Sergeant Shanguli, I've sent many people to go fetch someone. Or sometimes they've sent a messenger. So it's possible that it can happen. It is not strict.
But did you say so when you were engaged a couple of days back, when you were engaged on this by Ms. Hassim? Did you say this? Did you say, but there are exceptions?
I might not have said it, Chair, but it happens everywhere, especially in the police, in our office, to find someone who is, one of them could be standing there and say, please bring so-and-so is downstairs. It happens, Chair.
You even said, if I'm not mistaken, I hope it was in the same context, you even said that he does not work in your section or something like that, and that he works elsewhere, even though in the broader scheme of things, he is still within your section. But you said he does not work with you or for you, and that is even way down in terms of the hierarchy. And if I'm not mistaken, I think it was exactly in the context of what Ms. Hassim was engaging you on with regard to Sergeant Nkosi fetching Mr. Matlala from downstairs to your office upstairs.
In my case, Chair, honestly speaking, I don't see a contradiction because I'm being honest when I say anybody can be asked to go fetch somebody who is in the office, and it happens all the time. It has happened many times. It can be confirmed.
But do you accept, though, that there would be a contradiction if you did not suggest in the earlier engagement that there are exceptions? And you only now suggest an exception upon being confronted with an instance where you do ask a Sergeant Nkosi to fetch someone for you. Do you accept that there would be a contradiction?
No, I don't.
No. If if, General, you did not suggest that there are exceptions, if your answer was categorical and it was that, no, I would never send Sergeant Nkosi, and the reason for not doing so is that I have my own staff, I have my own PA and other people who work closely with me. No exception. So there would be a contradiction if you did not suggest exceptions or an exception. Do you accept that?
I don't, Chair. I don't. Because I know that, let's say, failure to elaborate further, when I could, let's say I gave a short answer that says, no, I have staff.
You never give short answers. You hardly ever.
My apology, Chair. What I'm saying, Chair, is that in my office, there are always people that comes in and out. Sometimes even in between the staff themselves, the support structure themselves, someone is typing something or is on the phone and something, and they say, so there is so down there, can you please go fetch him? Then my staff will ask or arrange with one of the guys that are around, roaming around in the office to go.
You see, General, that now is articulating an exception. I'm saying to you, suppose you had never suggested that there are exceptions and that your answer was categorical that you would never send Sergeant Nkosi because you have your own staff, PA, etc. Now, if your answer was that categorical, do you accept that that would be contradictory to a situation where you later suggest that there are exceptions? It's a very simple question.
It's a very simple question, Chair, but where it hurts me is when the Chair says to me, now when I'm confronted, now all of a sudden I see.
Let's forget. All right, continue. Please respond.
All I can say, Chair, is that in all our offices, even the National Commissioner, it's not only one person.
That's not what I'm asking.
Who goes first?
That's not what I'm asking, General. Oh. That's not what I'm asking. I'm saying, suppose your answer is categorical and it says that there is no way I would ever send Sergeant Nkosi because I have my own staff, my PA and other people who work closely with me. And then there is, so that categorical answer does not admit of any exception. But later you give an answer that suggests that in fact there are exceptions. My question is, do you not accept that the two would be contradictory? One that says there are exceptions, one that's categorical and says, I would never send Sergeant Nkosi. Aren't those contradictory? It's a simple question.
If the Chair calls it a contradiction, I guess the Chair, the ultimate end, normally will rule on it and say, I say it's a contradiction. And whether I say yes or no, it won't change the Chair's perception.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
General, that exception that you speak of doesn't apply in this case at page 180 because Mr. Nkosi is obviously not standing next to you. He's not the people who are walking around. That's why you text him. That's why you SMS him. And you say, I'm busy shortlisting, go and get him, bring him up here so that he can see I'm in the boardroom. So we know from that text that he's not one of the people that fall within your exceptional circumstances where they happen to be walking around and you stopped him. You got him from wherever he was in the building. So the question still stands that Commissioner Khumalo asks, that your evidence is he's not in my office. He doesn't work in my office. He's 5 levels down. So Even before you get to your explanation about PAs, you've already said he's not in my office, he's further down, he's a detective, whatever. He goes out to do work. I could not have asked him to bring Mr. Matlala, so he's not telling the truth. But here we are, we have evidence here where you text him because he's not next to you. You text him from wherever he is to come and bring this gentleman to you. That's really the important point here, at least for me, that says you do, after all, send him, even when he's not within your sight. You call him from wherever he is by text, and you say, go get that person and bring him here. So even the exception that you're describing, it doesn't answer what we see at page 180 and the contradiction that the chairperson talks about. Do you have a response?
The worry that I have is to really create an impression about something that looks like wrongdoing, even where there's no wrongdoing. It's such a problem that I have.
Don't anticipate where questions are going or what they are calculated to achieve, General. Answer questions on the basis of the facts that you know. Don't try to anticipate, because sometimes that's probably what causes you to give us very long answers, is because you are trying to anticipate where you think we are going. So can you please respond to Commissioner Baloyi's question?
I take what the chair said and what the commissioner said.
And may I conclude this by making this observation or suggesting this to you for your comment. What we see now with regard to this example, and you asking Sergeant Nkosi to fetch someone for you, actually gives credence to what Sergeant Nkosi says about you having asked him to get Mr. Matlala for you. It's not outside of the realm of possibility. If you've done it now, then this instance gives credence to what Sergeant Nkosi says.
Can I have half a minute to say something specifically on this one, Chair, please?
Will that be responding to my question?
No, Chair. But it is relevant to the fact that it is very much relevant in a sense that it shows the other side of what I'm talking about on the same issue.
I'm not sure, General. Maybe just at some point, maybe later even before we adjourn, you may make your point. For now, I want you to respond to what I've suggested to you and invited a comment on. Can you please respond to that?
The chair said I mustn't anticipate the questions I just want to ask the chair maybe to really repeat it for me, because
I said, General, this instance, the instance that Commissioner Kumalo drew your attention to, which is that you actually did ask Sergeant Nkosi to fetch someone for you from downstairs and to take him upstairs to your office. I said that instance actually, which you do not deny, by the way, in fact, it comes from you, is your request here in writing in black and white in chat number 3, page 180. I'm saying that instance gives credence to what Sergeant Nkosi has said which is that you asked him to fetch Mr. Matlala for you. I'm suggesting that to you, and I'm inviting your comment.
I have asked him to go fetch someone for me.
No, I'm saying that request for him to fetch someone for you actually gives credence to what Sergeant Kosi says, which is that with regard to Mr. Matlala, you asked him to fetch Mr. Matlala for you. Your comment?
I'm pushed to actually say yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Just two quick observations still on this chat, because I don't know if we will come back to it. This Imran is a businessman called Imran Bhatt, the same one you spoke about on the second day.
Yes.
Yes. And he was coming to see you.
Yes.
So just like Mr. Matlala, he's a businessman
Yes.
coming to see you. And another observation I make, if you look at the last chat 7 on that page, it looks like Mr. Imran was bearing gifts.
Yes, and that's why I wanted to talk to it. And I would hope that the commission, the chair will allow me, because it gives a bad impression. As we speak, Imran is attacking me over because he came with a gift in my office. And I was
General,
in
don't anticipate. You're going to get the opportunity. That's why I opened this up, because I sensed that you had something to say.
Yes.
Remember, Chair warned you not to anticipate. So allow us to finish, then you get your opportunity to answer. So the reason I'm now raising this specifically, because I got the sense that you want to address it.
You are helping me, Commissioner.
Because we have to be fair to you.
I want to cough out on this thing,
Yes.
and I feel like I'm being
Now,
pressed to keep.
this is the opportunity I'm giving you. That's why I was opening that up to say he came bearing gifts. Now I'm going to invite your response, but I'm going to ask that it doesn't take 5 minutes. You
It won't
ask for
take
half
two.
a
It
minute.
won't take 2 minutes.
Go ahead.
All I'm saying, Chair, and thanks for this, I forgot about this instance. I knew that he once came to my office. He was carrying a paper bag. He wanted to see me badly. And then I said, there is this man who wants to see me, bring him up. But I said, and let Brigadier Ramangwa be the one to interview him as to why does he want to see me. Then he says, no. He says, I am with Imran. He said he is comfortable to be interviewed by you, General. What must I do? Or tell him you are busy till late, he can come back tomorrow. So I didn't even want him to come back tomorrow. I said, no, tell him that I'm busy. You can even bring him for him to see that I'm busy. And then he came in the office, in the boardroom. He was carrying a paper bag, and I said, you wanted to see me? I said, no, I don't want to see you. I said, please take this guy out with this paper bag. Let him go. And then they took him out with this paper bag. And that's when we say, yeah, you handled him well. So I just want to say, because out there is making a lot of TikToks and everything, that how we got to fight with him is that he was always the complainant of the human trafficking. And then at some point we said, but this guy is a complainant and withdrawing case, human trafficking of people who are coming in. And I said, no, interrogate this one. That's when me and him started fighting at that time. So now he's making a lot of allegations, but at least, Commissioner Baloyi, for this one, thank you very much. It shows that I chased him away. Thank you very much.
His surname is still Kumalo.
It's the second time you're doing that.
I call
I say his surname is still Kumalo.
what did I say?
Commissioner Baloyi.
And it's the second time.
Yesterday as well.
I'm confused. It's not easy sitting here.
But I'm glad you now think we are fair. And you can see that we are, because we have given you the opportunity to address something which you regard as burning
Thank you very
and
much.
current.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. General, the commissioners took you far away from me and where I was with you.
Apologies, Ms. Hassan.
Which was on finance.
At least
So-
it gave me a break.
They gave you a break.
a break from this intense.
Well, I'm glad you thought that was a break. Let's get back to it. I was asking you about these businesses, and you explained. And you explained that, you know, the rooms for rent and the eggs animal business sounds like a small nyana business. It's cash. You get cash.
Yes.
What amount of income do you get from those businesses? And I do not expect you to be precise about this.
Do I have to say it honestly speaking?
A rough amount per month. What do you earn from these?
I'm forced to respond on this one, Commissioner. I can give it to the commissioners because I don't know how the other people outside and what impact it can do to me and my career, my business outside.
Please write it down. It will be shown to the the evidence leaders, your legal representatives, and to us.
Yeah. What I must say, indicate, is that in anticipation of the fact that one day I will be on pension, when the police fired me the first time around, I built. Remember, from where I come from at Rustenburg, it's a mining area. You can see the money as it comes in, but you can also see the spending. I built 20 rooms because we've got many people that come, the laborer that are coming to work at the mines, and then they rent. When the city of Joburg also fired me, when I resigned from the city to go back to the police, I also make sure that when I get large sum of money, I build some as well in another land that I bought.
In addition to the 20?
In addition to that.
What, is this also in Rustenburg?
In Rustenburg home, they are next to each other.
And how many are these? I'm sorry, Mr.
How many is going to result into the amount? I'll write the amount. But the bottom line is that each time I get large sum of money, moments like this where when the police turned against you, you know that at least you don't go hungry at home.
Yeah. May I say this though, we are going to be shown this confidentially, but if down the line the questioning has to touch on this for whatever reason, you know, maybe access to whatever financial issues, if there be, I do not know, as I sit here, the evidence leaders know best. It may well happen that it may be necessary to divulge.
It's fine.
So I don't want you to say, but I gave this to you confidentially. Why are you suddenly divulging it? Yes.
No, it's okay.
Thank you.
I don't have any other.
Thank you.
Yeah, that I can say myself. I committed
Thank you.
this.
Thank you, General.